I says, oh, by the way, I'm the federal judge of the United States, chief federal judge, and you just committed 47 felonies in front of me. Grabs up all the paperwork. I'll be back. Takes off. About a minute goes by, and all of a sudden there's screaming in the back room. Yell, 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 yell. This goes on for like 5 minutes. Then the supervisor in Miami, IRS, sticks his head out. Oh, Judge Miller, you're here. Well, yeah, I've got a 3x5 picture of me hanging on the wall in there. So he pops his head back in, and more screaming goes back in. It's quiet for about 2 minutes, and about 12 minutes goes past, and he comes walking out. Madam, here's your form. All your taxes have been canceled. You have zero balance. You're free to go. Have a nice day. She bought me an espresso. Tastes like mud. So, you say, I do a lot of stuff for fun. And anybody, I don't care. I haven't seen anybody that had a problem from any form of anything in the books of law that qualify, that I can't handle. I do not do murder. I do not do bank robbery. I do not do drug dealers. I do not do rape cases. I do not do public safety violations. You drive 40 miles over the speed limit, have fun in court, because I'm not going to defend you. I'm not going to say anything to assist you. That's reckless and endangerment of public safety. I don't touch any of those cases. I have an agreement with the government not to publish lawsuits on the internet because criminals would use them for the wrong purpose. And then, for that fact, it would go anywhere. If you do have a case with me, I respect that you will treat it with respect. If I am on your case, I will sign and fingerprint, or autograph and fingerprint your cases. I will be there in the event you have a judge that will sign that document and be a federal judge, or one comes out of Washington of the 300 judges that are assigned to work with me out of Washington in your jurisdiction and orders me to court by subpoena, I will show up and I will testify and do a presentation in front of the grand jury. I was ordered to Michigan. After 7 attempts to go in front of a grand jury, I finally made it in front of a grand jury. And when I testified, we were probably 2 hours on the witness stand in front of the grand jury. And the Attorney General, who was cross-examining me, every single question he asked, I syntaxed and made an ass out of him. I mean, the guy was really beaten up by me on the witness stand. And then finally, I was on a witness stand, and he made a comment to the judge. I'm going, "You're out of order." The judge says to me, "Judge Miller, there's only one judge in the courtroom, and it's my courtroom, and I'm the judge." I'm going, "Oh, yes, okay." And then the judge perks up and says, "You're out of order." And then the judge says to me, "Do you have a passport?" I said, "Sure, I got a passport, driver's license, insurance cards, MasterCard, Visa, bank cards, a checking account." I says, "I got a mortgage, carry insurance." He goes, "I thought you were sovereign." "Well, I am sovereign. I'm allowed 2 identities." He goes, "Yeah, that's true. You are allowed 2 identities." I just tell you what, Judge, why don't we cut to the chase here? In front of the grand jury, it says, "Here's my passport. You're a federal judge. Why don't you go in the back room and contact the U.S. Department of Immigration and Customs and run my passport?" I said, "It's going to take you about a half an hour to go through it. It's about 38 pages long." He goes, "There's only a couple of pages here." I says, "Run my passport." I says, "Then you're going to find out who's sitting in your courtroom." So he's gone for 35 minutes. He comes back and he says, "Judge Miller," he says, I apologize. He says, here's your documents back." Very impressive. He goes, "Never seen anything like that before." 38 pages long it was, just like you said. And he says, "Davis," he says, "he's just made an ass out of you. We have no more questions for him. Judge Miller, you're free to go." Yeah.
So So what do I need to do to get you here physically for my court meeting?
When's your court date?
October 30th.
October 30th? I'm going to be, I don't know, maybe I could make it. I got to be in Court of Claims in Washington, D.C. It's on the way. On the 5th, that's Monday. You got I think you got Friday. Thursday or Friday? Washington's always fun around election time. Tuesday, that's a whole week. Well, I'm on your case. I can sit in court with you and, you know, argue the syntax. That's not a problem. Probably be a lot of fun. I'm free those days.
I think we'll have an audience.
Yeah, I think we'll have an audience. There usually is standing room only when I show up. In Wisconsin, when I go to court, people come from 500 miles around to just watch a traffic case. You can't even get in the courtroom. Judge walks out in the court in the hallway and says, Miller, come on outside here with the DA. We're going to do it outside in front of here where there's no witnesses. And the DA's running down the hall. He won't talk to me. He won't talk to me. Except in quantum grammar. He won't. So
is there a process for that, or are you just going to show up and
well, let me know what your dates are and times. Okay.
do that?
It's only about a 3-hour drive from Milwaukee.
Is this okay for my badge?
Yeah. Except that's the wrong flag.
The wrong flag.
Yeah. That's a 1x2 flag for one thing. Your blue field is 40-60, and from here I can see it's a 50-50.
Okay.
You can download one off my internet site. It's
I got this one.
no, you didn't. Your computer shrunk it or did something, but that's not a print.
Change the size of it.
Yeah, it changed the size of it. It's 1 to 1.9. The one on my business card is correct.
I need one for business cards.
Oh, okay. Well,
They're in Milwaukee.
no, they're in my. I had them in my bag at the room. So
Just a couple of miscellaneous questions. If somebody, how about like with the credit bureaus or liens on your property or anything like that?
well, when you guys deal with MasterCard, every time you sign your MasterCard, you're making a promise to pay. I mean, you took the money. Now, here's a little trick that you don't know about. When you guys use MasterCard, it's earned income. If you discharge it in bankruptcy, the government will wait 3 years and come back and sue you for failure to pay your state, federal, and Social Security taxes on the earned income you discharged in bankruptcy, and sue you for 125% from the IRS, which you can't discharge. And you think you were in trouble before you couldn't pay your bills? Now you're in trouble with the IRS. Will sell your home, cars, and anything else you own, and they'll come after you from that location. And you can't file bankruptcy against the IRS claims, especially with that position.
Okay, so the syntax wouldn't work in those areas.
The syntax works except when you file bankruptcy, you are saying, what's in my hand? Nothing. You filed bankruptcy against nothing. Why do you file bankruptcy? You filed bankruptcy because you want to discharge a fact. Bankruptcy takes the nothing and makes it into a fact. Therefore, the fact is taxable. How do you think England captured New Zealand, Australia, India? Is because England figured out way back in the 13th century that if you file bankruptcy against an invasive people, take the Aborigines, they don't speak or read English. They only have picture writing. So, in their pictures articulate their land, their treaties, their boundaries, and there's 3,450 Aborigine tribes in Australia. But they got 10,000 gold mines. The country is a virtual mine of gold, silver, lithium, titanium, cobalt. I mean, it's just mineral rich. Radiation, radium for plutonium. All of our nuclear submarines are refueled in the northern part of Australia as they go around the world because our treaties with them. Australia is traded on the New York Stock Exchange as a corporate entity. Just so you want to know about that. The people Just lost my thought. The England went into Australia, genocided up until 1957. They had a bounty on Aborigine people that if you kill them, you got to pay the bounty. Imagine that. England was actually hunting human beings like they do deer and putting a bounty on them. Just like the movie with Tom Selleck, Quigley Down Under. Good movie. The Aborigines were genocided. Then they went ahead and they stole their land and they sold it to the unsuspecting settlers from around the world as they came in as new people. Then as soon as the people bought the land, the government came in and filed bankruptcy on the individual, bankrupting them off the land. Then filed a Title 46, Chapter 781 salvage claim under the 2000 Corporation Act under false and misleading statements, filed bankruptcy against the people, and through the bankruptcy court legalized the taking of the land because now they're saying the nothing contract of seizure was filed in bankruptcy, giving nothing value, retitling it back into the crown and then selling it to the next unsuspecting buyer, now as only a trustee and a caretaker, leaving the jurisdiction of the government in charge of the land and moving the Aborigine people off who couldn't read and write and defend themselves. When I showed up, I wrote them a new constitution. I gave them international trade agreements. I gave them the ability in quantum grammar to protect themselves against a world of fiction. So they called me the Spirit Walker because I came in and prosecuted 129 judges and nobody touched me. Anybody else that ever tried something was killed immediately by the government. But the government wouldn't approach me. The government wouldn't touch me. So the Aborigines, my name got shot all the way across Australia in a matter of days as we got somebody here that's special. And that's the reason why when I came to Hawaii, same thing. Somebody special showed up and they made me king because I came with a bird. 1848, a prophecy was made that a white man from America would come to Hawaii and set the Hawaiians free. I wrote the apology bill that Bill Clinton signed and apologized to sealing the Hawaiian Islands. Then proved the entire history of the Hawaiian Islands from the international bankruptcy through World War II, and it was the post office that captured the Hawaiian Islands, not the United States court system. Henceforth, giving the Hawaiians now direction by which to prosecute trespassing. And who paid the docking fees for all the buildings in Hawaii for the past 200 years on a sovereign country? Nobody. It's about $64 trillion in back taxes that the Hawaiian people are owed, which they kind of perked up to. Yeah, wow. So then you take all of that and then you go down to Australia, you syntax their constitution, null and void. Write a new constitution in quantum grammar, giving the Aborigines original constitution before the English got it, putting them in now control. And then going in and prosecuting the judges where they're running out of the courtroom. They're standing up bowing to me as the chief federal judge of Australia and New Zealand. And the Aborigines are in there watching this. And then having 2 federal attorneys, 2 federal barristers, 2 federal solicitors, and 2 federal, state attorneys, all stand up, all 8 of them, one right after another. We are in peril, danger to move forward against the Aborigine people. As Judge Miller has explained to us as a chief federal judge here in Hawaii, in Australia, in Sydney, Australia, New South Wales, as to how much criminal activity we have done in closed chambers in the back here in the last 8 hours. He can walk the walk, talk the talk, and he explained to us in detail the operations by which we are to be prosecuted as, that we don't exist as a government, as a court, or as a people, that we are trespassers. We hereby vacate our position against this Aborigine who we want to sue. And that's been 4 years now, and he's still a free man, and there's been no activity. And that word went all over Australia. And I've gone to court 129 times. Every time I walk in the courthouse, it's like, bzzz, Miller's in the building. Everybody's running and locking doors. Don't let him in your courtroom. He walks in here, and it's going to be hell to pay. Yeah.
So will you also write that for the Indians?
American Indians got the same thing through their treaties and now have 190 casinos on their properties. And guess what? The white man is losing money, and they're buying back their own Indian lands with the white man's money. That's poetic justice. Yes.
You were saying something about the bankruptcy. Don't do bankruptcy.
Don't do bankruptcy. It is.
I have a question.
Don't think of how not to pay your bills. Think of how to make money and be more efficient. Learn how